We are following a developing story that has completely blindsided the entertainment world tonight. Good evening. I'm reporting on the fallout of a night that will likely go down as the most controversial moment in reality television history. Keyla Richardson, a name synonymous with vocal perfection and spiritual power, has just completed a transformation that has left millions of viewers questioning everything they thought they knew about the industry. For months, she wasn't just a contestant. She was a force of nature, a seasoned professional who seemed to be walking a predetermined path to the crown. However, the events of the 2026 finale have pulled back the curtain on a much more complex and perhaps more calculated reality. We are digging into the shocking details of how a gospel star was reshaped for the mainstream, and why that journey ended in a way that many are calling a total injustice. The atmosphere online is electric with speculation, as fans try to piece together how the clear frontrunner suddenly found herself on the outside looking in. This isn't just about a singing competition anymore. It's about a career trajectory that has been fundamentally altered under the bright lights of the national stage. To understand where Keyla is going, we have to look at the professional identity she chose to leave behind. Before the world saw her on this season's stage, Keyla was already a titan in the gospel world, reaching the very top of the Billboard charts. This created a unique tension from day one. Our sources indicate that the transition from sacred music to secular pop wasn't just a creative choice, but a high-stakes gamble that had industry executives watching closely. When she performed in Hawaii, the shift was undeniable. It wasn't a standard vocal performance. It was described by those in the room as an ancestral event that left the judges visibly shaken. Keke Palmer and Lionel Richie weren't just watching a singer, they were witnessing a rebirth. But this new Keyla brought with her a wave of scrutiny. Some critics began to whisper that her professional background gave her an unfair edge, creating a narrative that she was an industry veteran taking up space meant for amateurs. This friction between her past success and her current ambitions created a target on her back, leading to intense debates over whether she was a true underdog or a polished product being served to the public under a different label. But behind the flawless high notes and the standing ovations, a much more fragile story was unfolding away from the cameras. As the competition entered its final phases, the pressure of maintaining this new, elevated persona began to show its cracks. We've received reports that following her haunting, zombie performance, the singer suffered an intense emotional collapse in the wings. This wasn't just typical stage jitters. It was the weight of a woman who was carrying the expectations of two different musical worlds on her shoulders. While the public saw a confident diva, those close to the production saw someone who was being pushed to the limit of her endurance. Rumors began to circulate that the transformation was being forced by producers who wanted a more marketable version of the star, leading to internal conflicts that never made it to the airwaves. This hidden struggle adds a layer of tragedy to the narrative, suggesting that the version of Keyla we saw on screen was battling an internal war against the very industry that was claiming to build her up. The toll of this environment cannot be overstated, as the high-intensity schedule and the constant online vitriol regarding her professional status began to erode the joy she once found in her craft. The climax of this investigation leads us to the final moments of the 2026 season, where a single choice changed everything. When the finale arrived, the data suggested a landslide victory was imminent, yet the evening took a turn that no one saw coming. Keyla's song selection for the final round, a risky, stripped-back version of Un-thinkable, was met with immediate pushback from a segment of the audience. Investigative fans have pointed out a sudden and unexplained shift in voting patterns during the live broadcast, leading to widespread rigging allegations that have set social media ablaze. When it was announced that she had placed third, the reaction in the studio was one of pure, unadulterated shock. The narrative immediately shifted from a celebration of talent to a massive inquiry into the fairness of the results. Was the song choice a deliberate sabotage by the production, Or did the audience simply turn on a frontrunner they perceived as too professional? The data doesn't quite add up, and the silence from the network has only fueled the fire. This wasn't just a loss, it was a total disruption of the expected outcome, leaving a trail of questions about how the most talented person in the room could be discarded so easily. The aftermath of the results has moved from the stage to the inner circle, as accusations of a robbery continue to surface. In the hours following the broadcast, Keyla's mother did not hold back, launching a series of public statements that have sent shockwaves through the production office. She explicitly claimed that her daughter was dealt a bad hand, and that the system had failed to protect its brightest star. These aren't just the words of a frustrated parent. They reflect a growing sentiment that the show's producers may have had a predetermined exit strategy for an artist who was too big for their contract. Whispers of a secret exit have been circulating, with some suggesting that Keyla's team and the network couldn't come to an agreement on her future management, leading to a sudden drop in her ranking. While the artist herself has maintained a professional silence, the firestorm around her family's accusations has forced a conversation about the ethics of reality television. The fallout has been so intense that many are calling for a full audit of the voting process, as the discrepancy between her popularity and her final placement continues to baffle even the most seasoned industry analysts. As the dust settles on this 2026 scandal, we are left to wonder if the trophy even mattered in the long run. While she may not have the title, Keyla Richardson's transformation has achieved something much more valuable. She has become a symbol of artistic independence in a world of manufactured stars. The robbery has actually served to bolster her brand, creating a massive wave of public sympathy and interest that a simple win might not have provided. We are looking at a woman who effectively used a national platform to pivot her entire career, shed her old image, and emerge as a mainstream powerhouse. However, the scars of this season remain. Whether she will continue to work within the traditional system or if she will break away to form her own path is the question everyone is asking tonight. The reality is that Keyla didn't just lose a competition. She exposed the inner workings of a machine that might not have been ready for her level of excellence. As she moves forward, the shocking transformation of 2026 will be remembered not for the third-place trophy, but for the moment a star decided to play the game on her own terms, regardless of the cost. The story is far from over, and we will be watching her next move very closely. We are following a developing story that has completely blindsided the entertainment world tonight. Good evening. I'm reporting on the